I have been preaching for a long time about how people take the Word of God, the name of Jesus Christ, and have the gall to do evil with it. It's like Paul the Apostle said, the end that justifies the means that they say, let us do evil that good may come. And they have no shame. They have no they'll go into church and sit there and people support them. This is hard to comprehend that churches will support this woman that is not ashamed uh, that she actually had an affair with a married man, and he goes on national television and tells everybody that workplace affairs is like apple pie part of America. That's a lie. There are a lot of people that work out in the workforce that would never cheat on their spouses. But why? Because they are degraded in their minds, their bodies, and their spirits. They want to normalize it. See, before they try to normalize gender, now they want to normalize adultery. They want you to accept the fact that there's nothing wrong with adultery. I'm not ashamed. Whatever I did is none of nobody else's business. Well, when you are in control of lives and you claim that you're after them for lying, and you are a liar. You literally lied and lied and lied in the courtroom. And because these people are subject to your witchcraft, these judges are subject and under the spell of your witchcraft. And those of you who know how to pray should know how to bind this power, because it is simple to bind. You don't let witches control the law. You don't let that happen. Where is your ability to pray? Some of you that consider yourselves great prayer warriors, where are you? Where are you? Why is this still going on? Why hasn't somebody sat down and said, I'm going to pray against this kind of sin, this kind of blasphemy until it's gone? Why aren't you doing that? Oh, it's somebody else's problem. But you see, if God revealed it to you and you know how to pray, you know how to target forces that are not of God, and you haven't done it, that's as bad as if God would come and give me the ability to tell the truth and I never put it out. The blood of the people that are going to fall under that are on your hands because you are not doing what God called you to do. You didn't have the gift that you have so that you could be seen in church, so that you could be seen that you prayed for so and so that you could be understood that you have all things, so that you could pray for your own personal needs. I've got news for you. All of you are American. All of you belong to this country. I don't know who's telling you that you're not. I don't know who's telling you that, well, you don't have any part of being American. Oh, yes, you do. If you were born in this country, you are an American citizen. And that will be a mark on your soul until you go into the grave. And then it'll be a mark on your soul in eternity. Because you are going to find out you don't play with the living God. You don't use all of the tools and all of the power He gave you to increase yourself, increase what you want, increase who you think you are, and play games at church. Oh, I go to church 3 times a week and I know I'm okay. And I do this, this, and this according to the doctrine and I know I'm okay. But yet you see blasphemers mocking God right out in the open, and they laugh. They laugh because people like you are not faithful. I told you before, a guy like bin Laden, he left the Christian church to become a Muslim. And he laughed at the Christian. You know why? Because he knew that none of you would ever serve God the way you claim. That there's others that were in the White House, and they played with God and defrauded America, and they laughed because they could do it out in the open because people like you refuse to do your work. It's your homework. If you have power in prayer and you are not praying to pull the strongholds of powers and principalities, I'm not talking about pulling down people. I'm not talking about violence against people. I'm not talking about hating people. I'm talking about where you see blasphemy, you pull it down. I'm talking about where you see people playing games with God and you see the power of it to literally sit there and say, well, I know I serve a great big God. People wonder how I keep going on. I've got news for you. She's going on because people like you support her. But it's not going to last forever because God only allows evil to exist for a season, just for a season. And then he comes and he takes care of it all. So there is nothing more sickening than to see people who, number one, worship their skin and and lie about it and say others are racists when they worship their own skin and they put it above everybody and everything else. That's worshiping it. And then they accuse everybody else of it. That's witchcraft. And then they go and play their games in evil as far as adultery goes. And then they blame everybody else. They won't admit, and the judge, he lets them get away with it. He lets them have full power. You know why? Somebody's being paid off somewhere. Somebody's going, I don't know. You know, if it were me, I would be more afraid of God than I am of anybody that threatens my life. Because I would know that God would take care of me. I would be afraid. You know, just like they were saying not too long ago that the speaker was being blackmailed. You know, it's hard for me to believe that there could be a religion that literally teaches that a 12-year-old must make a vow and she wears a wedding ring by daddy. And daddy owns her. He owns her. Can't you get it through your thick head what that means? He puts that wedding ring on her finger. He has no business touching that wedding ring, that finger. None. And forces her to make, whether he manipulates her into it, but he forces her because he takes full advantage of her to make that kind of commitment. A commitment that even an adult woman has a hard time keeping if she doesn't know and understand the truth, let alone a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old. And you make them vow that they will never this and they will never do that. Their commitment between them and God is between them and God, not you. You don't own them. The blood of Jesus Christ bought them, but your religion teaches them that you own them, and then you say, well, until the day that her husband comes and puts a ring on her finger to transfer ownership. How dumb can you be? That is slavery. I told you, these kind of people think that the woman is no good for nothing. Use her in bed, you might as well have a whore. Use her and, oh, well, I'm paying for everything and I'm doing everything. You might as well go and get yourself a whore because that's how you use her. And then you force her into things she doesn't want to do. But you're a man. Ooh, are you a man? And now you work your iniquity on a child? And because you're higher up, you think that everything is fine. It's just like those people. They destroyed 2 marriages. Each one destroyed their own marriage. And if there were children involved, they're in the worst trouble. But because they got married, it's okay. Because they married, they dumped these 2, and it's okay. The laws that are in that Bible are going to stand against you no matter what you do, no matter where you go. because the grass always seems greener on the other side, and it is up to you to save your marriage. It is up to you to help God restore it. It is not up to you to dump the person and go on to the next one. This is where America has allowed the laws of God to slip, just literally slip and slide downhill into the slime. The slime of believing that it's okay to commit adultery. Why, we're all right with it. We're proud of it. Because, hey, there's nothing to be ashamed of. And they've proven that that woman had others. So she goes from place to place. Oh, but he gets interviewed. And people, it's just like when they sit in front of a whore and they talk to her and they want to hear everything she has to say. You have to listen to her with respect. Look, God gives her no respect if she's not willing to change. And if she lies about it, and if she wants to use it to hurt somebody, don't you understand that when a person sees you're in power and they want to tear you down, and they know you have a wife, the the jealousy that eats them up, because you see they're a whore. They know they'll never be any different. They know that they've ruined their lives to such a degree they will never be any different. And those of you that say I shouldn't call a whore, better read that Bible. A harlot is a whore. And it's all in through that Bible. A harlot. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend and lie to you. I'm going to call it what it is. You know why? If I don't say it, they don't feel the impact of it. Well, it's not as bad as it seems. Nobody will ever call me. Why, this guy over here that asks me questions, he will never ask me the truth. I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry. I am an honest one. Yeah, sure you are. Am I angry about what they have done to people? No. I am angry at what they have done to God. I am angry because I know God is. It is not what they have done to me. It is not what they have done to this nation. It is not, even though that's bad. But when you allow yourself to be used to do evil and say the end justifies the means, that whatever you've done, because you make it and it's going to be okay, oh, you're worse than the one that doesn't even know and does it. Everybody will answer for their works. Jesus Christ is coming, and he's bringing his reward with him. And these sluts, tramps, and whores that are playing games with the mind of people and playing it before the whole nation, why, they don't have anything to worry about or concern themselves. Well, if their boobs droop, they just get an operation. If their chin sags, they just get an operation. They don't have to worry. Everybody's going to think they are the most beautiful. Like I told one man, I said, if you can kiss a whore knowing where her mouth has been and you don't vomit, something is wrong with you. Because for money, there's no telling where she put it. For money. You don't realize why the Bible speaks so badly against men doing that with women. Picking women like that. Understand, you don't play games with God. Watching soft porn in movies because they have a title, Christian, quote and unquote. You tell me where two people in bed who are not married are Christian. You tell that to God. Well, we're married, so we can sit down and watch it. So have your foursome. But God's watching 4 people in bed, not 2. Because that's the way it goes. You've heard of voyeurism, living through others. Why do you think you watch that? Because the temptation is to live through others. Why do you think they love pornography so much? Why do they think they love nakedness so much? Why do you think they love movie stars so much? Because they live through them. Their imagination, their lies, their hearts, their lusts all go into that. And they just bring it into their souls. And then they go, but I need to get close to God. I made a mistake and I need. How? You won't give it up. You won't give it up. You're constantly after that stuff. Well, sure, you watch. We like a certain channel, and it's all about romance. But there's no sex in it. But it's all about romance. Well, that certain channel have white witches on there. They have a program of white witches, and there's no such thing as a good witch. I'm warning you. I'm begging you to listen. I don't beg God for anything, but I will stand here and say, please listen and dump it. Dump it before you get so tainted you cannot change. It causes you, when you listen to those programs and you watch them, it causes you to want that in your life. So the first guy that comes along that pays attention to you, where are you? You're making out. And I don't know why I fell into that sin. I just don't understand it. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, I was in bed with him and I said, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. It's wrong. How in the world did you allow your mind to get to a place where you'd even touch it? When I gave that message about depression, it's the same thing with adultery. It's the same thing with sin. It's the same thing with pornography. It's a choice. It is a God given choice. You have power over it. You have the power to say, no, I'm not going there. Like the guy that cried and cried and cried to every preacher in the whole community. I can't be free of lust no matter what I do. I keep lusting after women. I can never be free. And they grab a hold of him and lay hands on him and go, oh God, our brother can't be free. I got news for you. He was never my brother and he will never be my brother. My brother does not do that. But oh God, when are you ever going to set him free? So 20 years passed by of him constantly being with other women, constantly running around after them, going from church to church. And the church hugs him and say, what a great man of God he is. Why, look at him. He brought 3 other women with him, and those are his prayer people. But his wife is at home, cutting up firewood, doing every menial job in the retreat that there is, scrubbing and everything. But he's out there with his prayer partners, and there's and well, we read this book and it told us all about demons, and we read that book and it told us it's so we know your wife has a demon. Your wife didn't do anything. Those were the demons. And every time they thought they laid hands on someone and prayed this one out, I got news for you. More were jumping into you for laying hands on evil than they were freeing. You were freeing them. Transference of spirits is real. Be careful. See these hands? Be careful who you lay hands on. Be careful who lays hands on you, because they can impart to you every single lie and dirty, filthy thing they're doing in secret. They can impart to you and you never get free of it because you keep receiving them as from God. You keep believing they are as from God. And because you're doing that and you don't renounce them, you don't sit and go before God. Lord, I've seen his works. It's sin. I don't want no parts of him, Lord. Set me free and make sure I don't pick it up. You don't do that. Why, that's too easy. You might get healed. You might get delivered. You don't realize you're tainting your own soul everywhere you go. Oh, but this is my brother and this is my sister. And we fellowship together. And maybe, just maybe, they were like the one that came out of the bed of a man who wasn't her husband. But because she could sing in tongues in church, and just like a bird, a beautiful bird, she could commit adultery and walk right into church, just like those famous whatever they are, DAs, whatever. They could do anything. Filled with hatred, filled with evil, filled with lies. After people so that they can protect the evil in this nation to keep it going. To keep it going so that they could have access to all of the children. Because you see, they knew they could not get adults anymore because they were too wise. They found out on the internet who you really were. So what did you do? You went to get the children because you knew if you got those children and you changed their thinking and reprogrammed them when they were little, they'd never know the truth. So you wanted to get rid of history. You didn't want them to ever have anything to compare it to, so you would accept more than two genders, so that you would accept men with men and women with women in the White House. So you would accept the evil. So you would do it easily. And you just keep on voting for them. Keep on, well, well, he pulled up the economy. Well, sure he did after he destroyed it. Because most of them, they have money. That's what they do. They destroy it and then he lift it up, say, look what I did. Look what I did. That's because I'm so good. Well, you look how evil that guy is. You look how evil. Why, they want to, they want to make sure that people can't just abort a baby like that and kill a baby like that and do full-term abortion or kill it after seven days. There's something wrong with them. They're sick. They need deprogrammed. There. Ooh, Christians. Ooh. And you think that you are okay with God when you don't even pray against that? You don't sit down and cry out to God and say, Lord, look what they're doing over here. Look what they're doing over there. It's all the things that are against you. It isn't me they're hurting. It's themselves. It's the children. It's your people. It's your... Oh. But you don't ever think to pray like that. Because you know what you got on your mind? You. That's what you got on your mind. You're so filled with you. Well, I got to teach Sunday school. Oh, you know what? We'll sit and talk about it for hours. I just really, oh, God was so good to me. I got to teach. Well, you know what? I got to do this, and I got a new home, and I got this, and oh, how wonderful. But let God's children rot. Well, I don't need to pray for them. Oh, yes, you do. If you don't start crying out to God, I told you and I warned you in the name of Jesus Christ before, all of that invasion is going to come into your backyard. Then you're going to cry. When they take over and invade your own home and kick you out and take your children over, then you're going to cry. Because it's happening right now. It's happening where they're taking all of them and putting them in the schools while the citizens are kicked out. And they're out on the street and have nothing. But all the benefits are giving to these new ones who can't even speak English. And you can't see that that's wrong? Oh, I know. Those that are on the news, they never tell us that. We can't trust the internet. We can't trust anybody there because they are not talking by God and for God. But look at the look at the media. They've always told us. They've always been our God. They've always told us who is evil and who is good. And after how many years? In the 1960s, when a certain president died, he got shot in the head. Then all the evil come out. of the way he was and his brother was with all of those sex things, with all of those harlots, all of them. Then it come out. But he's the greatest president that ever lived. And they said his own wife, after he died, she married a man that you would never want to be married to. Why did she do that? Because she was busy in her own way. Because, like he said, and I know he said this, I can't prove it, but I know he did because I saw it. Because it shocked me that man made God to have something to believe in. That was his thoughts about God, and he went to church every Sunday. You people got a lot to learn. You need to waken up to the truth, and you need to ask God and cry out to him that he save this nation, that he have mercy on the innocent, that he have mercy on those babies, that he has such a mercy that he takes these people who invaded here and are using children to get in, to get them back where they belong. Because like I told you, that mother that puts them over that wall knows they're going to be raped over and over and over. I don't know how they managed to pay her, but she knows. She knows what she's doing with that baby. You're the only dumb one that supports her bringing her baby over here because, oh, look at us, we care so much. Yeah, it's just like on the news media. We're going to pray for you, an adulterer and an adulteress, but we're praying for you. Don't make me sick, because the heart of God hurts, and he will spit you out.